This video segment is directed more towards the continuity planners and disaster recovery planners. Now, I know you are working hard, and oftentimes it is like pulling teeth to try and get people to meet with you to talk about business continuity and disaster recovery. So, are your efforts bearing fruit? How can you tell? How would you be able to show others? So let's talk about a couple of cases. On one end of the spectrum, you might have a group that looks good on paper. Everything is green. They filled out a continuity planning template. They've been dutiful in updating phone numbers and people's names, but you know they are not prepared to recover from disaster. They haven't practiced, they haven't tried, not everybody knows the procedures. You know they're not prepared to recover. How do you share that message with executives? How do you share it with the department? How do you show that they're not ready? On the other end of the spectrum, we can imagine a group that is not looking good on paper. They don't have a documented plan, they don't have a formal program, yet they're very good at being in a crisis situation, and they're used to working off-site in different locations. You suspect they're good at recovering and have a good chance of recoverability. How do you share that message, and how do you measure it and show what you're trying to say? So this brings us to the larger problem of how do you show the value that you are providing? Right now, there are only a few ways to measure how we're doing. We can look at individual continuity planning documents. How many departments have a document? When was the last time the document was reviewed and signed off? Maybe when was the last time it was exercised? But this doesn't give us a good feel for whether or not a department is able to recover. We could look at standards and best practices or maturity models. These usually take a wide scattershot approach to measuring continuity planning. Oftentimes, while it has its place, it doesn't give us a good feel for whether or not an organization, unit, or department is really able to recover. Just because I have a risk assessment and a business impact analysis doesn't mean I can recover. This is what the RPC model of organizational recoverability and this course is about. Trying to get you some tools for measuring preparedness and predicting recoverability. The course goes into great detail about the model, so let's just look at a couple of potential benefits. First of all, the model gives you a quantitative score. So you'll be able to look at some real numbers and share real numbers with both stakeholders, executives, and your departments. One of the things that we've found in implementing the model is that if we think of it as a self-assessment, departments are very interested in going through the assessment process and getting a score and improving that score over time. So we find that it builds enthusiasm and it builds involvement on the part of the participants as well. It also helps them to understand the different areas of continuity planning. So it's not one large thing to understand. There are various aspects of it to work to improve. Finally, it should allow you to do some gap analysis and focus on the parts of the preparedness effort where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. In short, I hope that it helps you to do your job and to better prepare your organizations and communities to recover from disaster.